Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I want to talk about shame, how it's used, the good and bad, and how it applies to our lives. So, when it is, now, first, not everybody has shame. It is an important ingredient in being a good person. An example of people with no shame would be like a politician. They say one thing and they mean something else, and they know that they're doing it on purpose. So that is shameful type acting. Yes, you have criminals, but they have no shame. If they had shame, they wouldn't be a criminal. Shame plays a lot in the structure of character. I don't know if I would say shame is involved in morals or not. I don't know if it runs parallel with morals or hand in hand. I'm not quite sure how it works like that. But shame and conscience, that's why, for me, I'm down here because I obligated. I gave him my word. I told him that I would be here for him to do what we got to do down here. And shame is one of the factors that make sure that I stay to my word. We talked about your word. We've talked about that already on other videos. And and in the Chinese culture, shame is used a lot because you can't bring shame upon the family. You represent the family. Shame and shameful acts reflect not only on you, but your family, your community. Like when I'm down here, and well, I'm in any foreign country, I try to act my best because I represent Americans. People see me, they see American. So I try not to bring shame upon Americans. I talk about them, I'm half Chinese, so I try not to bring shame upon the Chinese culture because I really believe in the culture, and our culture is based around shame, so it's really a tough one. Now it's funny because they use shame in peer pressure. That's when they tease you, they ridicule you, they make fun of you, and they're trying to bring shame upon you, so then you will do something stupid, or you do like everybody else. They don't want you to stand out, so they try to shame into doing what everybody else is doing. I'll tell you, that's one reason why I don't have a job. I've tried having jobs before. They don't really work well with me. I enjoy working. And most people work for the money. And most people try to avoid work. They think the less work they do and they keep making the money, that's better. So for me, I just want to do the work. I've learned a long time ago that the more work I do, the better work I do, the more money I make. It doesn't work that way when you have a job. That's why I try to promote people to start their own business. There's no limits when you're doing your own thing. And but I say I have a job, and I always have people say, well, you're working too fast. You're doing too much, and all this stuff. And that's because you're making us look bad. Sometimes they tell me that, sometimes they don't. But I know that's what it is. But for me, I don't care. I enjoy working. I do it. And, well, it's time to take a break. I think it's funny because the last job I had, I was stocking groceries. And I love stocking groceries. It's good exercise. You're stretching. You're lifting. You're bending over. You're doing all kinds of cool stuff. And it was funny because at 10 o'clock at night, when they're closing the store, and you can see at 5 till 10, everybody was lined up there waiting for 10 o'clock so they could stamp out. And for me, when it was 10 o'clock, I could hear them shout, and they'll tell me, Mike, time to go home. And then so then I would stop what I was doing and go up there and I'd check out. So, in other words, the peer pressure, they were trying to make me do things that I wasn't comfortable with. They tried to make me do things for their benefit. It has nothing to do with my benefit. And but they try to shame me into doing this kind of stuff. It's funny because I get the same thing. I had some comments. I have a cigar every once in a while, and I had somebody make a comment about my cigar, trying to shame me off of my cigar. It's funny. And then I don't know how many times I have people on my seatbelt. I don't wear a seatbelt, so they try to shame me into using my seatbelt. And I mean, it's just, I think it's so funny. They're using that type of tactic, try to shame me on stuff. Now, it's funny because, and I know what they're trying to do. For my best interest, I shouldn't be doing it. I understand this. Now, when I do my work, my Hoi Chi and stuff like that, I don't use, well, let me see, I better put it away. I do use shame on others because I expect them to do more. So just like everything, there's a positive and negative way of using it. So, and I try to shame them into doing more, applying more effort, whatever. So, but the difference is, it's not to my benefit, and it's not to make them look bad or any of this other kind of stuff. And there's a logical reason when I do all this stuff. Now, it's funny because I have people that will try to use shame on me on violence. Violence is no good. Violence is bad, stuff like that. And it's funny because when something evil is happening, it's okay to use violence. So now the shame has stopped. So that's why you have to be real picky about using shame in tactics. Now it's I make people. I'll put it this way. I change people's lives every week, and well, I can say it every week because I don't use violence every week, but I do use Hoi Chi every week. That's my body work that I do, and I'm able to find points on their body and explain what symptoms they have. I'm correct, and it's painful, and I will tell them it's caused by POP, and that's the kidneys. when the kidneys are acting up and you drink pop, you're asking for it. So it's not that I shame them from drinking pop. I am bringing it to their attention how the pop is hurting them. And I do the same thing on the liver, using grease, medication, alcohol. So, and I'm showing it to them on their person, on their body, so they can relate exactly how their actions are hurting them. And so I'm not using shame, even though it really is shame on you for doing this to your body, but I'm more directing it on taking personal responsibility. That's another thing a lot of my videos kind of direct on, is taking personal responsibility. And so shame does fall under taking personal responsibility in some cases. But shame is a tactic that is used, and it can be used negative and positive. It can be effective. And it's used on you all the time. And, you know, I mean, you don't follow the law. Shame on you. You know, I mean, this kind of crap, you know. Well, right back to the laws are so screwed up now that you really can't. The laws are used to control people more than being a useful thing that government can do. They use it for controlling. You know, there's no basics on it other than control. I go through this all the time with the seatbelt, and but that's where you know, strong moral strength comes in. But like I say, you really do have to be aware of shame and apply it a little bit. You use too much shame, it takes the fire out of it. Just takes a little to get a lot done. This is Mike. NoStressMike.com.